So one of my very first experiences was what I call an etheric body examination. Some may even call these physical body examinations. They're both. They're both. In my view, the etheric body is being worked through, and there is a sort of transfer value effect that is felt and experienced in the physical system. I have these periodically. I'm not sure exactly how often, but there's been at least a dozen or two in there in the years since I've been going out of body. My very first one was just, I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know anything about out-of-body experiences when my experiences first began, and so I was a bit crazy in my mind. My heart was beating out of my chest. I had been taken out of my room and placed in a room. The room was cold. I felt like I was on just a flat, hard steel table. And, I was just sort of screaming in my mind, oh my God, whatever you do, don't open your eyes. And to date, I have not been able to open my eyes during one of these experiences, even though I have always translated the event through human filters. So even when I do get visual data from my environment in other ways than opening my eyes, it's always human beings that I see. So I'm not exactly, I'm not precisely sure why I'm so afraid to open my eyes. It's a lot to deal with, when you're being examined, bodily. And that may have something to do with it. But part of the reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to work through that particular fear. I do want to, or would like to, be able to open my eyes during one of these. I would like to see who's there. Even if I am applying strong filters, human filters, to make me more comfortable with it. But I would also like to not be able to apply so much of a filter. I'd like to be able to talk with who's there and maybe even get up after the exam and take a peek around wherever I happen to be. I often do perceive myself to be on a nearby craft. But I don't know if that's true. I could be in many, multiple locations. I have come a long way, since that first experience. I'm no longer terrified when it happens. I understand that I am existing on multiple dimensions simultaneously, and I am simply meeting with an inner layer of myself and related friends, to that one. But the fear does still exist. I've not been able to actually open my eyes during one of these experiences. This morning I had asked to be merged with. This is happening more and more frequently for me. I'm able to instigate the experience by asking if there's anyone here with a message for me, or by asking to, or letting my inner layers know I would like to be merged with, that I would like to meet with them. And this morning I did this. I asked to be merged with. I asked to meet with my inner layers, and this is what happened. The event was actually larger than this segment of it that I'm going to relate to you here in this video, but I'm just going to focus in on this part. I felt the merging take place. I almost always do. I felt every cell in my body accelerate, which is so pleasant. By the way, I'm going to just that experience of being merged with is one of the most delightful things I've ever experienced in my life. I could see how, you could become rather addicted to it, if it were possible to be addicted to such a thing. Actually, it's not possible to be addicted with such a thing. But what happens is that you fall so in love with the experience of that that you want to experience it often. I know I do. So I feel myself being merged with. I feel every cell in my body accelerate. The shift is very short. It does lend me to the idea that I'm simply being moved from my room here to a nearby craft that's possibly right outside. I immediately feel myself being examined. It's a fully sensory experience. It's fully tangible, tangibly felt. That's the height of the sensory experience. But there also is full audio and full everything, really, other than visuals. I am, or I do, attempt to collect while I'm there with my eyes shut. As much visual data from the environment as I can, and as much comes through that I can handle, along with the very tactile, very tangible, examination that's going on, which, of course, has the bulk of my attention. There is a doctor. There's a main doctor. I generally, interpret these ones as being doctors or scientists. There's one main doctor. There's a few, maybe 3 consulting doctors in the room, and then there's many assistants. And I can feel all of these, not so much hands as I feel just about every area being poked and prodded and looked in all just simultaneously at the same time. The main areas that I feel being worked on this morning are common to my experiences, but this morning, was the head, the back of the brain. My head felt like it was being readied for surgery. That was my interpretation of what I was feeling, and I was getting some visual data that sort of suggested this too. Not that they were doing this, but the visual data I was getting was like, they put those caps on you prior to surgery, and there was something else, but it's getting by me. I'm going on to something new. So the first area was the back of my brain. The second area was my nose. It felt like there was this large device attached to my nose, and it had characteristics to it that held my nostrils flared wide open, like as wide open as they could possibly go. Not altogether comfortably, but not too bad either. Like I could feel it, and it didn't scare me, and it didn't hurt or anything. And then also the vaginal and perineal area, which is very common. It's interesting how these etheric examinations often happen when I've started my menstrual cycle. And this morning I had just started, and boom, here I am in another one of these exams. They do not scare me. I know that they're just checking to make sure that I'm okay, and that if they did perhaps find anything wrong, they would simply fix it. and I would get to experience that fix in my physical body, without having to physically go to a doctor here. They sort of do it, they just do it for me. I'm also given various upgrades. I told you about the expanded range of vision that I have. This came about from, one of the upgrades. At a certain point in this experience today, I knew that something key was going to be taking place with work being done, having to do with my brain, my physical brain, and I didn't know if I could actually stay awake and alert through the entire procedure. I didn't know if I had wiggle room to put my attention elsewhere if it got to be too much. I began to feel slightly claustrophobic because I wasn't sure I would have the room to shift or move if I needed to. And I mean, just immediately with this thought coming into my awareness, they shift my attention. And now it seems like I'm more like in a day spa, having my head massaged and my hair washed, which was heavenly. And of course, really goes a long way to putting me at ease, knowing that there is a communication going on between me and them, that they are aware of how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and they're able to give me the wiggle room that I need so that I don't feel claustrophobic. One of the biggest reasons I'm doing this video is because I want to open my eyes. I want to work my way through the fear of that. I don't feel I'm afraid of them. I don't feel I'm afraid of what they're doing. Today I was super comfortable. I was just super comfortable and, really keying in on a lot of the work that was being done. Part of it really busted me up. I wrote this one up. I will attach, the link to it down below, or you can just pop over to the Om Talks board and see it. But yeah, I want to be able to open my eyes. I want to be able to see who's there, talk with who's there. Again, maybe even get up and walk around, see where I am. I would like to be able to not apply too much of a filter, a visual filter. I'd like to see something closer to what is actually there on that level of reality. Rather than, filter it through my human filters and see only that. I'm just not sure how to do it yet. So I'm starting to talk about it. I'm just going to put this out here and maybe something will come back. Maybe some of you who go out of body experience these etheric examinations and are able to open your eyes and look around and chat with who's there and just get more data than I'm able to at this point. If you are, I would really appreciate you writing me and letting me know.